Hello everyone, this is Wes Cleckley with Interlink Mortgage. And I was doing a realtor training earlier in the week, and the topic was doing a final quarter push, right? Pushing through the end of the year for your business so you can really set the tone for the remainder of this year and the beginning of 2021. January, February, March, which tend to be slower months of the year and starting off at a slower pace. So I thought after that I should go ahead and share it with all of you. So what happens at this time of the year? Well, school starts, activity picks up, we have less and less time, and that's the case for the whole population, right? So we naturally start to see the amount of leads for people wanting to buy houses slow down once September comes, right? It's just a natural part of every single year. We're still in a great market, but we're still gonna hit the seasonal slowdown that we're experiencing right now. Now, a lot of years haven't slowed down a bit, right? And that's fantastic. And a lot of you out there have had the best year you've ever had, right? But just because you've had the best year you've ever had doesn't mean you go ahead and take it easy now whenever you think, all right, look, slower time of the year, school's starting, holidays are coming, right? I'm gonna coast through the end of the year, right? For us, for the first three quarters we had a bigger year than we did last year, all 12 months. And that's the case for a lot of you. We've all been reaping the rewards of this hot market, but I just want to challenge you to have a final fourth quarter push to really set the tone for this final quarter and for the first quarter of 2021. Because if you don't do that, here's what typically happens. A lot of realtors and a lot of lenders for that matter, they end up making their whole year in the second and third quarter, right? Second and third quarter. Why? Because the slowdown starts happening in purchase and selling business, and you end up kind of taking it easy. Holidays are coming, Thanksgiving, Christmas, we've got Halloween coming up. It's holiday season. You're busy with everything else in your life, so you don't tend to put as much focus on your business. All right, so then what happens, you're also not prospecting. So if you're not prospecting, what happens when January 1st rolls around or January 2nd, right after New Year's celebration, you say, well, it's time for me to get back to work. Well, that activity, that prospecting for lenders, for realtors, and really for all kind of industries for that matter, that typically doesn't turn into transactions until maybe later in February, March, or April. So what ends up happening, you're coasted in on that fourth quarter, and then you have a very slow start to your beginning of the year. So your first quarter is slow. Again, going back to your second and third quarter make up your whole year. So I'm gonna challenge you to do it differently this year. I'm challenging you to do it differently. I've been in a coaching program for 9 years. Going on 9 years. The end of this year will be my 9th year. But what I learned back 9 years ago with the core training is that prospecting is everything. Prospecting is our number one job. If you're a realtor or a lender, we have to prospect every single day. We have to purposefully do it, make calls, see people, send thank you cards, send gifts, create your top 50 favorite people, your VIP list, top 50 favorite past clients, whatever it may be. You have to systematically create a prospecting business. Right? So when I started changing that, when I made this final fourth quarter push several years ago, what I realized was on January 2nd, my phone started blowing up, right? So all the seeds that I planted in the last quarter came to fruition in January. You know, when everybody else was waking up on January 2nd after the New Year's Eve hangover, they're like, hey, I gotta start working, but my phone was already ringing because of all the work and all the seeds that I planted in October, November, and December when everybody else, realtors and lenders, were kind of taking it a little bit easy. Now listen, if you don't do that, I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm talking about a generalization here for sure, right? But I know this to be true because I have a lot of real estate partners, a lot of people I've been doing business with for a long time, and they have personally told me the same thing, that yes, they do that. They kind of take it easy. Maybe they already hit their goals, or maybe they're like, look, I'm making calls, not much is happening, I'm gonna take it easy, spend some time with my family, which is great, that's what we should be doing, but then they get a slow start to the next year. I did the same thing, and I see lenders do it as well, like especially lenders that rely on realtor business like we do. 75% of our business comes from real estate agents, right? So as they're calling on real estate agents, they're not very busy. They said, all right, well, I'm not gonna crank up the prospecting anymore. But that's when you should be opposite. I've told my team, right now we should be calling and seeing and thanking and having more celebrations than we ever have. We have to turn up the activity when everybody else is slowing down. That's gonna make our activity be exponential, right, in the eyes of everybody that's out there in the market. So plant seeds. Here's some ways that you can plant seeds. All right, one of the things you can do, I just mentioned the top 50 list. Again, you got to get systematic about prospecting, right? Because most of the time we're just sitting there, we're taking the calls that come in, we're taking the Facebook leads that we get, whatever way you get business, listings, buyers, whatever, right? But if you do a systematic approach to it, what if you created your top 50 favorite people, your top 50 influential people, or your top 50 favorite past clients? And the point of that is create your list. Maybe you can't come up with 50 on day one. Maybe you start with 5, 10, 15, or 20, but start somewhere. Each week or each month you start adding people. And who could that be? Maybe you have a favorite insurance agent that obviously comes across people that get homeowners insurance or whatever. Maybe you have a CPA, a financial planner, maybe a divorce attorney, somebody that's in HR for a big local company that knows all the people that are moving in to work for that business. Right? Those are new people coming in, right? So you create a relationship, create a list with people that can send you business. I say this to a lot of agents all the time. How many business people do you work with in your market? Like, what do you mean? Well, do you know that could be a great referral source? Well, I never really thought of that. And what you can do, you can start going to chamber events or whatever there may be out there, whatever organizations you can get involved in. Find out who the movers and shakers are in your community. Find out who the influencers are. My insurance agent knows everybody. If I say I have a need, she'll say, look, you need to call this person. Find those people. Ask for 15 minutes of the time. Bring them a cup of coffee. Swing by. Say, hey, I'm a local real estate professional. I would love to come by and learn more about you and your business. And when you're meeting with them, ask them questions. Say, look, tell me about your business. Who is your ideal client? And tell them, look, I come across buyers and sellers all the time in my profession that would probably need your services. I just want to know what your ideal client looks like so I can know how to refer you. They're naturally going to reciprocate. And when they have somebody that wants to buy a house or sell their house, maybe move up or downsize, they're going to naturally think about you. So think about those types of people. Start building you a list. If you get a list of 50 people, you call 12 of them a week, you can touch all 50 of them once a month. Create a gifting program, right, for those people. But it's about creating connections of people that are movers and shakers, somebody that thinks like you, works like you, and that can send you clients, okay? Also, gifting. I mentioned that. So create a gifting program for your past clients. Maybe you don't have any gifting program at all. Maybe you give them a gift at closing. Maybe you do a Cutco knife or a floor mat or a cutting board or something like that. All that's great, but what if you expanded your gifting program some? What if you expanded the gifting program to your past clients, to these top influential people that may send you business, and it doesn't have to be anything expensive. Maybe your top people, maybe buy them a nice gift card to a restaurant, to their favorite restaurant, but it could be something just small. Maybe it's a pop-by gift, maybe it's something you send in the mail. It's just something to make them think of you when they receive it. All right, get back to the basics, right? This is the time we can get back to the basics, because if you are slowing down, if the phone's not ringing like it was, get back to the basics. Establish your cold calling for the week, right? Structure your calendar. Time block your calendar. Get purposeful in it, because what I've found, when I don't have a time block calendar, I don't have it full, I'm not very efficient. I find out that I'm catching everything that's happening or putting out the hottest fire that's going on for the moment, and at the end of the day, I didn't get near as much done than if I was purposeful and had a time block calendar. So time block your prospecting, time block your cold calling, time block the time you're going to just make drive-bys and do some pop-bys with your information, dropping off your cards and some flyers of some local listings that you have. All right, door knocking. Hey, there's an idea. Not everybody loves it, but maybe that's just one idea. Here's another one. What if you went back and did open houses? These are all ways that if your phone's not ringing enough, you're not satisfied with the business and where it's at right now, go back to some of the basics. I promise you'll get leads from it. There's all kind of marketing material you can create. Cheap marketing material from Vistaprint, door hangers, things like that. Contact us. If you ever want to create anything like that, we can create custom flyers for you, door hangers, you name it. We'll give you whatever ideas we have for you just to get back to the basics of marketing. Perfect time to create your digital footprint. I'm sure a lot of you, you're watching me on video right now, so you're doing some stuff, right? You're online, you're on Facebook, you're watching me on YouTube right now, whatever it may be. Why not do that for yourself? Maybe you've dabbled in it a little bit this year, but what if you've never sent a video? I hated videos. I still don't love them. Corinne's been trying to get me to do this for 2 weeks. I finally took the time to sit down and create this video so I could give you guys this information. So what if you did a 1 or 2 minute video, send it out to your past clients. Just let them know that you're thinking about them and that you know that the market is hot. If they have any questions about where what their price of their house is, tell them to give you a call. Give them some information, right? We've got a lot of tools and a lot of data that we can help you relay to your customers or business partners that could help. But create your digital footprint. If you have not created all your social media pages, do so, right? Contact us, we can help you with that. We'd love to do it. Corinne will sit down with many of you to help you do that. But it's a great time, if you have some more time throughout the holidays when things are a little bit slower, create your digital footprint. That way you can hit the ground running in January 2021. This isn't necessarily planting seeds, but here's another crazy idea that you may think is counterintuitive, right? If you're a little bit slower right now, and you haven't hired somebody this year, and you know you need to hire somebody or hire that transaction coordinator at least, why don't you start looking for somebody to either hire part-time, full-time, or find that contract transaction coordinator. And why do I say that? Well, if you're like a lot of people, your first 9 months of this year have just been the best year you've ever had. You've been so crazy, running around with your hair on fire, right? And if you just had that extra person on your team, or that first person you've ever hired that could take care of some of the paperwork, some of the photos, or whatever it may be, it could help you do more prospecting, make more connections, and getting more leads. Spending time in front of people doing buyer presentations, listing appointments, it'll give you more time to do that if you had somebody else do some of the other stuff. You're not having to track down all the paperwork or the timing of everything. It's a great time to look at that. You may think, well, how am I going to do that when things are slowing down? Trust me, it'll work. It'll work. That first hire is your hardest. And again, you don't have to go all in and hire somebody full-time and pay them a whole lot of money. Start small. Start doing some transaction coordinating and get somebody you get to know and you get to trust that they're going to take care of your client just like you would. So it's a great idea to look at right now. All right. It comes down to mindset. Mindset is what it all is. Fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Okay? I believe that if you have a fixed mindset, you're sitting there thinking, look, I've done all I can do this year. Everybody else slows down. It's just how it's going to be. If you have a growth mindset, you're going to just put the hammer down. I tell my team all the time, this is when we got to put it down. Have a growth mindset, knowing that you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. And some people tell me, look, I don't want to do a whole lot more. I don't want to spend any more time away from my family. I don't want to work a whole lot more hours. You don't have to if you do it right. If you have a growth mindset, knowing that you can learn new ways of doing things, different ways of doing things, something different that you've done for the last 5 years, 10 years, or however long you've been doing this business, you can become more efficient and provide better service than you've been providing and actually work less or at least the same amount of hours, right? So have that growth mindset that you can learn different ways of doing things and make your business more efficient and more profitable. All right, so I've got a challenge for you guys to help you start this off. Help you start putting the hammer down to finish this fourth quarter strong and come out the gate in January 2021 so you have an even better year next year than you have in this record-breaking year already. All right, so one challenge. This isn't that difficult, but a lot of you aren't making any of these calls. Make 50 cold calls a week. That's 10 a day. Well, who do I call? Call these movers and shakers that I'm telling you about. Call somebody. Do the research. Identify some people out there that you would love to get to know, that you know that knows everybody else in the town that can refer you business. And simply call them and just tell them who you are, that you're a local real estate professional, and you just want to spend 15 minutes of their time to learn more about them and their business and how you can refer them business, right? It's easy. Who wouldn't want to meet with you for that, right? Call your past clients. Ask your past clients when you're on the phone with them. Listen, I sold you a house this year. Who else do you know that's moving to this great area? Everybody's moving to Texas right now. I take applications from everybody coming from California, all over the nation, all over Texas, moving to San Antonio, New Braunfels, all this greater area here. Who else do you know, Mr. Buyer or seller, that you did a loan for or you did a transaction for that knows somebody that's moving to the same area? Ask those questions, but you won't find that out unless you just pick up the phone and start making some outbound calls. Next one, digital footprint. We mentioned that. Record a 1 to 2 minute video and share it on your social media. On whatever social media you have, if you have one outlet, spend the time to create some more. Again, we can help you do that, but create a 1 to 2 minute video of giving a market update. If you want some of that content, watch my videos on Wednesday. I do a Wednesday update at 1 o'clock. Just give an update. Talk about interest rates. Talk about how many closings there are. Talk about the amount of inventory or the limited amount of inventory that's going on right now. just send something out. All right, goal setting. We're approaching the end of the year. A lot of people wait till December or even January to set their goals for 2021, but I'd encourage you to do it now. Create a vision board, whatever works for you. Maybe you need something visual like that just to create your overall 1-year vision, 3-year vision, 10-year, way far out vision. But start thinking right now what you're going to set your 2021 goals at. I can sit down with you and go over it. I've got a 2-page document for realtors that can really just walk you through where you've been this year and where you want to be next year. And it'll break it down to how many transactions you need, buyer and seller sides. And it'll go all the way down to how many leads, how many appointments, and everything you need to set. All right, we can get as granular as you want on that. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you have not joined our Cleckley Realtor Relations page on Facebook, please do so. We give a lot of content like this out there. We talk about the events we're having, property tours, trainings, happy hours, fun stuff. So please join that page. We'd be glad to see you there. And you have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.